I mentioned in one of my previous videos that years ago I drew a picture of a fire engine. It was so long ago that I don't remember when I actually did it or where I copied the illustration from. But at a recent model engineering exhibition I saw a red Mamod fire engine which reminded me of the picture. So I bought the fire engine, the model, as a potential project. Before I start to make any modifications to this Mamod fire engine, I guess I better find out whether it actually works in its original form. So this is the very first steam up. I've put 3 metafuel tablets in the burner and lit them, filled the boiler, and so we wait to see what happens. I suppose I should have also mentioned that obviously I've oiled around and oiled the mechanism, so we've got a bit of lubrication to start with. It's been about 4 or 5 minutes and we've got some signs of life. And we go backwards. Oh, stuck on a rock. My patio's a bit uneven for this. Found it almost impossible to steer and video at the same time. Crash. I have to say, I did have some misgivings, but it runs fairly well. Got to say, I don't care for the smell of these metafuel tablets, but anyway, 3 tablets is about right for the amount of water that's in the boiler. 3 tablets and we're not quite at minimum water level, so I guess there's a safety margin. So that's absolutely fine. Can't tell if I caught that, but having run a red fire engine, by coincidence the red arrows are doing a flyby. So I'm just making a few notes of modifications that I intend to make to kind of enhance stroke beautify this Mamod fire engine a bit. The bell doesn't ding because it's got a fixed clanger job, so that's easily sorted out, so I'll alter that. The seat is very basic, just consists of a bit of bent up sheet metal, so the plan is to bit of a cosmetic improvement on that, so that it looks like it's got a bit of a seat, and the fire engines seem to have some sort of a headrest arrangement, so I'll do that. In addition, I think there were sort of brass rails to sort of stop the fireman falling out of the seat, both here and presumably some sort of grab rail arrangement along here, because they think they used to stand on the footballs and hang on. So that's all quite straightforward really. I believe these things had acetylene fired headlamps at the front here. These at the back I think were more searchlight spotlights or something. So I'll make a couple of lights for the front, and I'll give some thought as to whether one or both of these could be made movable for a sort of searchlight function, which is what I think they were really for. The dummy hose reel sort of job must have had handles to wind the hose in and out, so I'll take a look at that as well. The other thing that was very prominent on these engines was they had one or two large diameter suction hoses at the sides, and they were used, would be connected to the pumping engine I think at the back, and would suck water out of a ditch or whatever was convenient in terms of a water source, in order to feed the hose and spray the fire. So I'll have a bash at making a couple of, or one at least, suction hoses. They were a much larger diameter than the high pressure hose that sprayed onto the fire. Not sure they always had them, but I think I've got some thin aluminium checker plates somewhere, so I think I'll sort of add some non-slip checker plate to some of the footsteps, and maybe the driver's cabin. Not sure they always did that, but I just think it potentially looks a bit pretty. Seems to me, looking at various pictures, that the radiator surrounds in prototype were often brass, so I think that's a kind of easy mod to simulate, so I'll have a look at that. The biggest modification, unquestionably, and probably the one I'll leave till last, because at the moment I'm not sure what to do or how to do it, but the ladder, candidly, from prototype pictures, looks all wrong. The wheel jobs at the back were of a much larger diameter, at least probably twice the diameter of the road wheels. Clearly can't put larger diameter wheels on in its current location because it's going to foul everything, and I also believe that these larger diameter wheels were more to the outside of the engine. So I'll have to have a think and a look at that. The other issue is, in terms of this model, there's just a little bit of plate here, but in prototype, during this period, there was some sort of arrangement here with a winding handle that would wind by rope, I think, at this time, not hydraulic, would wind the ladder extensions in and out. And I also think that typically the Mamod only has two ladders, one sort of fixed and one slides in and out, but I think typically, to give it a bit more height, they often had 3 ladder extensions. Again, I'll have to think about that. That strikes me as being a bit of a job, but as to whether that's achievable and whether I have some sort of dummy winding arrangement, or indeed can make something to give effect to the ladder being wound in and out. In use, of course, in prototype, the ladder was removed, I believe, from the engine, which is fair enough, and trundled up adjacent to or near the building that was on fire, presumably for the purposes of rescuing the poor inmates, really. I should stress I'm not criticising this model or Mamod. I mean, it is what it is, and at first impressions I think creates a fair visual representation. It's just me being me, and well, to be honest with you, I'm looking for a project and I don't want to get into anything too difficult at this stage for various reasons, or too protracted anyway, but difficult. So I'm just looking for something to fiddle about with in the next month or two.